Hello, everybody. Mm. It's Wednesday afternoon. I just had lunch, pasta and pesto sauce. And so I was looking at my AI usage for this week. It resets, what, tomorrow? Yeah. So it resets in 24 hours. I don't think it's even possible to use the rest of this in that time. But the current 5 hour window resets in half an hour. There are some tedious tasks that I wanted to do that I think AI does a better job at doing. So let's just give it those and I can do some other work while it's running. Yeah. So let's go to downloads, assets. I want to add in running and running while shooting. So running as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. Yeah. Hey, Chili. Hey, Chef Alton. Hope you're both doing well. Let's plug this in over here. Sprites, characters here. Okay, so I should just put all these in their own, just as files here. Run while shooting. Is that what this is? This is just run. Good. And then run while shooting. Yeah, okay. All right, now let's go make a prompt over here. That's got to update first. Because, yeah, honestly, this whole thing will probably take like 20% of the quota, which is still not even that crazy. So let's set this to extra high. All right, so I just added run gun and run while shooting. So the first represents the sprites for running while, well, I probably don't need to say this. And the second for running while shooting. Each sprite sheet, it has 8 rows and 8 columns. Each row represents a different direction to a different facing direction. This order matches pretty much walk while shooting exactly, right? Yeah. Walk shooting. So add the running animations to top-down shooter player. Whoops, nope. Top-down TSCN. Yeah. Do not inspect the image files. Ask me instead. Ask me if you have any questions. Yeah. Because a lot of times it starts inspecting image files and it just starts doing a bad job, I think. Then when the movement speed, top-down shooter player, we have all the walking animations. Yeah, here it is moving. So we just need to check to see if the movement speed is high enough. When the movement speed is high enough, stats, movement speed starts at well, it starts at 0, I guess. But you have a base movement speed. And your base movement speed is 50. Yeah, so in your actual movement speed, then when the player moves at a speed faster than 100 pixels per second, use the running animations instead of the current walking animations. Anything else to do here? Yeah, I think it's fine. Let's put it in plan mode just in case. I also eventually want it to work in its own work tree. So let's pick new work tree. Anything else? Oh yeah, this. Create top-down shooter. All right, I think we're good. So we are at 95% and 65% before planning the new sprite sheets. So I want to get those working. And then I was debating on whether we should add in dashing as well. It'd stop you from firing. We'd have a sound effect. You have a cooldown. Should only provide a speed boost, not iframes. I don't think there's much of a need for this. We have the animation. Dash. And we have this dust puff as well, which apparently is not baked into this. No, it's not. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I think if we're going to do anything, we should add in attacking behaviors or attacking abilities. I don't think dashing probably provides a whole lot. Hey, Phil. Yeah, I don't think dashing provides a whole lot. Yeah, I think I'll just remove this from here. RE dashing. Original tasks. I don't think this is worthwhile. If we're going to add anything, we should probably add in an attack ability that lets you shoot in multiple directions. And there are two ways we can do that. Well, there are more than two ways, but there are a couple ways I think could work well. One is you fire X bullets in Y directions and then regain control of your character. Option 2 is your shots add spread for X seconds and then have Y seconds of cooldown. I was picturing that this would keep you stationary for that time. So you press the button and then your character shoots like a three-way shot wherever you're aiming. And it does it 5 times, let's say, based on your fire rate. Honestly, it's probably too powerful. I think the way we'd make it less crazy is by giving you essentially a mana bar and then having it recharge after some time. By having a mana bar with a recharge time. And then you get potions to upgrade that mana bar. I don't like this idea. I think it's a little too complex for here. Work tree creation failed. What happened here? Not apply binary patch to run gun without full index line. All right, you know what? I don't care. This was stupid. Edit environment. No. How do I bail out of this? Just copy all of this, I guess. Just make a new thing. And just work locally, I guess. Yeah, well, that was a waste. Did it actually even use quota for that? No, it didn't. Also, even if it used a tiny bit, it doesn't matter as long as it bailed out early. And it did bail out early. So yeah, we'll just have it work locally for this. It didn't really matter to me whether it was on a work tree or not. So yeah, no dashing. I like the hold R to anchor yourself to a position. I think that's fine. I'm not sure how I feel about these abilities because I don't think the game is very tough to begin with. And being able to do some kind of special ability might make it too easy. Like you're just shooting off to the right and it ends up killing like 4 enemies at a time. But without it, I don't think it's interesting enough. Yeah, I don't think we do that. We'll get to it with the fun check stuff, I suppose. And then we should probably change this too. So we have a nav mesh inside of Skeleseller. Yeah. And I think I want to do this. Rebake nav mesh. display is added or removed. This needs to be called. Yeah. Let me look at Godot nav mesh because I want it to change to this too. Using navigation meshes. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna just tell it read this page, go make this. I did this for Skeleseller. I don't think it'd be that hard to do it on our own. I just don't want to do it. I've done a lot of AI tasks to get this thing. Okay, so currently, what is it? Top down shooter.tscn. We don't have any navigation stuff here, do we? No, but base room has something here that controls this. Yeah, navigation blocks and whatever else. So currently base room.cs has code to affect navigation agents when supply crates are added or removed. It doesn't currently work because, where is it? Floor layer, here it is. Because this is navigation blocked. Only checks. Is this only checks if the navigation block if a navigation block is added, not if it's removed. Allow supply crates to change navigation agents. Doesn't currently work because this only checks if a block is added, not if it's removed. This means that if a supply crate is destroyed, monsters will still try pathfinding around where they used to be. This should be done by now. Yeah, it is. What timing should the new running animation loops use? Faster loop or match walking? It's a good question because the walking and gunning is combined. So if we make this look any faster, actually, I don't really care, right? I could just have it change it afterward. Let's look at their female adventurer. Here it is. And where's their run and gun? Here's walking. They don't have running? They have it for the spear. I want to see what the running and gunning one looks like without me doing anything else. I guess we could just plug it into Godot. Yeah, I'll just make a new scene. Animated sprite 2D, new sprite frames, assets, sprite, character, run while shooting. Here we go. Okay, so set this to 48 by 64. Yeah. And let's have them just face to the right. Probably the easiest to go inspect. All right, so here it is at 5 frames per second. I don't know what we have the other one set to. Here's 10 frames per second. That looks pretty good, actually. Their legs are just going nuts here, though. It's kind of funny. Looks like they're in water. What do we have their animation set to begin with, though? It is 5 frames per second. So yeah, I think 10 is probably good. Yeah, let's just do that. Does it say how much? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's code to allow supply crates to change navigation agents. Doesn't currently work because Well, yeah. I think this needs to return whenever a particular cell, is that what it's done based on? Yeah, particular cell has changed. Well, I'll just leave it at that. Figure out a plan to fix this. Alternatively, we could change to a nav mesh and rebake the mesh whenever a crate is added or removed. All right, this should be done with the plan. It is. Let's read the plan. I mean, it should be straightforward. Add 2 new directional run states. That's not correct. Maybe directional just means using directions, in which case, yeah. Yeah, add 16 new animations. That's good. Yep. Yep. Corresponding muzzle position values from walk shooting. This is maybe okay. They're probably gonna have to change, but that's fine. And then add this and then use this mirroring walk. Yep, that looks good. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. So I'm gonna need to address the muzzle positions. So add in running, manually change muzzle positions, make sure footstep sounds are okay. And then, yeah, while that one's working, let's go trigger another agent to do something else here. This stuff. Base room.cs. All right, there we go. And just come up with a plan for this for now. Yeah. So I'm kind of intertwining these. I just want to burn through some of the quota that I have because it's about to reset anyway. Like, I'm paying for this. And I have tasks that I don't feel like doing. So I might as well trigger these. Use tile data runtime update. Yeah, I guess that's fine. All right, what else can we have this do? Allow customizing monster damage. How much do I want to change damage values? Maybe I'll just do this. I'll make another plan here. Want to change how damage works in the top-down shooter. So the player should always take, I wrote this down somewhere, something about 30 seconds. Yeah, turns of player life require the defense to do at least 1 damage. This way it takes 30 seconds of constant 1 damage hits before you die. So this would involve you getting 20 defense potions, which is not too crazy. The player should always take at least 1 damage from any source. Maybe we change. No, I don't know. Yeah. Should bosses do more damage? I don't know about this. I don't know about any of this. Yeah, I think we just make it so they take at least 1 damage. I mean, this is a 1-line change. I can just go make it myself. Top-down shooter player. I do want to find some other task I can kick off here, though. Take damage. Here it is. So where do we do this? Update health. This is if... Oh, wait, weird. Play damage feedback. Yeah, this should be only done here. And then damage dealt equals math.max of these 2 things. So now this expression is always true. Yep, you always take damage. And that's it. So now even if you have maximum defense, you will always take at least 1 damage, which means 30 seconds of standing around inside of a monster's hitbox means you'll die. So let's go test this out. We might already have running animations in here. Yeah, we do. Wow, look at that. That looks pretty good. But now you can outrun your bullets and the muzzle position is wrong. But still, let's just go stand here and see what happens. Yeah. So I think it should be 30 seconds and then you die. So if we speed this up, yeah, it's probably right. I don't know. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's close enough. It was never supposed to be. It doesn't need to be exact. I wonder if I could change the door thing for me. That'd be great. All right, so this stuff's still working. This came up with a plan. Don't migrate to nav mesh for this bug. I mean, I'm fine with it doing that. Root cause, create destruction, remove cells, then this returns false. You don't ever cause this. Support this narrow fix. Really? Tile map layer runtime tile data only updates for cells accepted by this. Runtime baking would require a larger navigation master pipeline. Support this narrow fix. I mean, yeah, I know this. We're just not doing this correctly. Add this for cells. Runtime data must be refreshed. Yep. This sounds pretty reasonable. Yeah. Anyway, decided to finally use AI more. I was wondering when you'd use it more since you were paying for it. Yeah, I'm trying to see what it takes to actually like get through my plan each week. I'm only on the $20 a month one, and I still find it kind of hard to burn through it all. And it does help. I mean, like in this case, it just added a bunch of animations that I didn't feel like doing myself. Yeah, so this is done now. How did it say edited 2 files though? That's impossible. It edited this file too. What? I think, yeah, it did edit that file. And there should be a pretty hefty edit here. Yeah, there is. I don't know why I didn't include that in the result. But yeah, so now we have our running animation. Let me listen to the sound effects. Should probably play even faster than that. All right, the muzzle positions are definitely wrong. It just took them from the walking animation. They're correct when facing down or up, but they're not correct for any other direction. I'm not going to fix those yet. I'll just say that they're wrong for now, but we'll probably check this in because this should be dead simple code to look at, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly how I would have done this. And then I'm just going to assume all this is correct because I am not going to go look through a bunch of scene files. But we do need to change the muzzle position. That's definitely wrong. And then I need to do one other thing. Where did I check in? Did it delete that? I think it deleted my change to damage. Take damage. Huh, it did. Okay, well, this is why you should use work trees. Add running animation. AI did this. The muzzle positions are wrong. I'm going to fix them by hand at some point. I don't want to do that now. All right, so now here we just want to set this to 1. This gets deleted. And that's that change. Change minimum damage taken by player. It used to be 0, now it's 1. This way, 30 seconds of constant 1 damage hits means you'll die, or well, not 30 seconds. Constant 1 damage hits means you'll die in about 30 seconds. It's not exact because there's a delay on a timer, and then there's the frame delay that might play into that too. But it should be pretty close to 30 seconds. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the whole thing. So this is good. And now we want this. Leave base room, supply create scenes, change that to remove cores and pinning refresh. Yeah, so let's have that run. And then is there anything else I want to change here? So footstep sounds, I think we're pretty much fine. Yeah, muzzle positions need to change. Anything else we can have this do? I don't know if we need to change this. Well, actually, if you just get the 20 defense and you just stand there not dying from the boss probably should do more damage. But if they deal so much that you die in one hit, it'd be a problem. Maybe the boss should just always insta-kill the player. No, they should just do more damage. Yeah. This is important, or else you just stand on the boss. What's your maximum defense? Oh, there is no maximum. Oh. I think we should make the maximum be 20. Actually, you know, something we could do is make it so that when you get enough fire rate upgrades, it just gives you, it shoots in multiple directions. So basically, you shoot to the right quicker and quicker. This is like fire rate going from 0 to, let's say, 30. And then every once in a while, you shoot like an extra bullet here, an extra bullet here. This is like the player would be over here on the side. I'm drawing this really stupidly. And then this would be like, oh, every 5 fire rate, you get an extra % chance of a bullet firing in another direction. I wonder if there should also be some inherent spread to your shots. Yeah, that might be good. Add minor spread to the bullets that you shoot. If aiming directly right, it should shoot in a, like a, it's not really a cone because it's 2D. It's like it's just a triangle. Angle from the x-axis would be like 10 degrees in either direction, something like that. We'll mess around with it and try it out. Order the Sinking Star. Game design, I don't know, that's crazy. So infuriating the whole time. I've never heard of this. Nice stats. Director Jonathan Blow, Braid the Witness, Order the Sinking Star is a narrative adventure set in a realm of magic and enigma. Solve over 1,000 interconnected handcrafted puzzles. Oh, neat. Okay, yeah. This is, from my understanding, basically The Witness 2. Because wasn't that how The Witness was set up? It was just a bunch of distinct puzzles. It's got to be neat because playtesting this, you can basically just sit anyone in front of any of the puzzles if they're all just standalone. It does say they're interconnected. I don't know how that works exactly. Yeah. Yeah, very cool though. All right, is this working? It says it fixed it. I guess all I had to do is add in a hash set here, right? Yeah. Okay, I mean, that looks pretty reasonable. Let's go test it out. This is very simple to test. Oh, do I still have basic room in the game? I do. This never exists anywhere though, right? Basic room. Yeah, I gotta delete that. Delete basic room.tscn. How are we doing on quota? 61%. Yeah, even trying to burn through this, it's almost impossible. I have 6 more minutes. So I got to give it some other task. Yeah, let's do that. In the top-down shooter, allow for monsters to deal different amounts of damage. The boss monster should deal how much? 25 damage instead of the usual 20. I mean, this is a really simple change, so I don't think there's going to be, yeah, monster damage dealt. So if your defense is 20, you'll take 5 damage, which means you're still not going to die all that fast. Yeah. Yeah, so just make this change. That's fine. I'd rather get hit by 1,000 trains than solve 1,000 puzzles. Oh man. It's supposed to be 100 plus hours of gameplay. So like 10 puzzles per hour. It's an interesting metric. I'm guessing each puzzle takes a very long time to develop so that a player can get 6 minutes out of it on average. Yeah. I feel like in a sense, I'm not making puzzles, but I'm making games, and the ratio of dev effort to player effort is bonkers. All right, what else do we have? Is there anything else we can do super fast? I need to find it very quickly here. Yeah, how about this? Make life bars animate. Let's go have it do that. Animate. Lifebar.tscn. It's got to be in the top-down shooter. Health bar? What do I call this? Health bar, yeah. Animate the progress texture. Health bar. Sort of like how life bar does. We animate this too, don't we? Or what? Meter? Yeah. All right, is this done? Set boss damage to 25. It's still working. Oh, it says implemented. Okay. And now we'll give it this other task here. I mean, might as well knock out a few of these things, right? And even then, even trying to use all this, we used what, 40%? Yeah. So now it's been about half an hour and we're at 57, 59. And in 3 minutes, it's going to reset. And yeah, I probably should do this more often though. It lets me get a lot of these things done faster. Oh, I never added the death animation. We should have it do that too. Yeah, let's go get that. I'm gonna have like 4 different commits that are connected here. Death. Death, gun. All right, so it's only in 6 directions. All right, so let's go make a new thing here. Death, gun represents the death animations for the player. It's only in 6 directions. Just like one of these other ones. Which one? Walk? Yeah. Just like walk gun. Add these. Add the 6 animations to the player and play the correct animation when the player dies in the game. There should be no, yeah, that's it. All right, is this done? This is still working. Yeah, I don't think we can intertwine these changes, and we have what, 1 minute? it's gonna bleed into the next thing, so it doesn't really matter. I'll wait for this to finish though. It looks like it's just about done because it's running get status. Yeah, here we go. So now let's run the new one. And neat. Hopefully this one doesn't mess up because, oh, wait a sec. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. Cool. So yeah, this is going to reset very shortly. Yeah, I actually think this is one of the best interfaces for dealing with a lot of these custom animations because none of the solutions are great. Honestly, this one isn't great either. But you could either do them all by hand. This is probably the worst one. You could have code generate them. You could, or like generate them at runtime. You could have code generate scene files ahead of time. You could have AI act as the interface. And the reason I say none of these are perfect is because each one has its downsides. Like having code generate them at runtime, I guess it's kind of the same as having them generate scene files. It's like either way, well, at runtime, you can't view them in the editor. If you have it generate scene files, you can view them in the editor, but now you can't modify them there. You'd have to go modify code to get them to update the scene files. So it's like you might have an animation where the collision doesn't quite match. Speaking of that, we should probably write that down. Make sure the collision of each monster matches its animations. This isn't the easiest to do because we dynamically change their collisions. So we need something that's kind of close enough. Models you use, you could move up one if you want to min-max token usage. I'm using Codex, whatever the highest is here. So I have it set to extra high, probably GPT 5.5, I'm guessing. Yeah, 5.5 extra high. I don't think there's a higher model. Yeah. There is an even faster version though. I guess on the final day of the week, I could use the faster version. I don't know if it's at the cost of quality. Yeah, I know I'm blocking this with my body right now, but here's, it just says 1.5x speed and increased usage. It doesn't say that it's going to be worse quality. And I think there are some cases where it's like you want fast answers or something and you don't care if the quality is worse, but yeah. Yeah, I liked Claude quite a lot. I feel like, I don't know, I have pretty limited experience with both of them, but I felt like Claude was better. Does it generate good code? Hey, Ayush. I think it generates pretty reasonable code. And I think the ways that you make it generate better code is by having an idea what you want it to do ahead of time and then kind of just guiding it toward that. In this particular case, I'm having it add an animation. The animation takes place almost entirely in a scene file, which is why I can see this thing ticking up quite a lot. This isn't even really code. This is like generating a JSON blob almost. And then it's going to modify like 10 lines of code to get it to call the death animation. Hey, Nightfall. It eats twice as much, but works 1.5 times the speed. Quality's the same. Yeah. Yeah, so on the final day of trying to use all my AI quota, I guess I could do that. Hey, Devil Dog. My base CCG. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. And hey, Goose. Vibe coding. I mean, like vibe animating here, but yeah, some of this stuff was actually generating code. So I want this all to finish, and then I'll consolidate these into different commits. We've already bumped into the next usage. Yeah, so we're back up to 96%. It's going to reset at 602. I won't be coding at 602. And I think each one of these 100% windows works out to about 14% over here. So you could do like 1 5-hour window per day of the week, and you'd use your whole quota by the end of the week. That's my assumption based on what I've seen so far. I don't know if that's exactly true or if that's always true or if it changes or something, because even these resets don't always seem to be every 7 days. Sometimes they're like 6 days. So yeah, this should be done very soon if it's not already. Yeah, it's testing it now. And then I'll merge these into commits. It'll probably take another like 30 minutes. And yeah, we'll have a bunch of changes that hopefully work. So as soon as this is done, yep, now it's done. Okay, good. So I want to go into one of the rooms over here. Let's go to room 1. Oh, we can't guarantee that we get into any of these rooms though, right? So let's just put them in the starter room. We can guarantee to be in the starter room. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. All right, so we have some supply crates. We got to add some more. Let's make a tiny wall of supply crates here. So there and there and there. And it's got to be a wall that I can move around myself. So something like that. And then we got to put a monster. Charge monster. What did I call it? It's not, oh, chase monster, not charge monster. Okay, let me put this over there. There we go. Okay, now we hit play. And here's what we test. So we have this thing start to chase us. It'll pathfind around the crates. So if we move around this way, it's never going to try to walk through the crates. But then we're going to destroy some of the crates, and it should be able to walk between them. It might not be big enough. We might need to destroy another one. But yeah, now it should be able to walk between them. It does not. Yeah, it's clearly not working here. So when you ask, does it write good code? No, sometimes it does not. Oh, now it can. Huh. Strange. Is it ever walking here? It isn't. It can't get me here. Oh, that might partially be because of yeah. It has to do with how wide of a boundary around this we have. And yeah, we animated the life bar just there. That looks pretty good. So I think we got to lower the boundary for this. We should probably have some like visualizer here. Let me just give myself a bunch of upgrades. I still take 1 damage, right? Yep. All right, so if I destroy this and this. Yeah, they can get pretty close. See, I think we just got to change the padding there. Okay, so pathing around crates. Let's go take a look at that. That was... Where's the room? Oh, no, floor layer. There it is. Yeah, so let's take a look at this code. Navigation cells pending restore. So this is our new hash set that we have. And whenever we need to remove or add, we need to modify the pending restore thing. Then here we check to see if this contains this. Is navigation blocked? This shouldn't even need to exist, right? Unless... No, this still does need to exist. And then when you run the update, we remove everything from the coordinates here. So somewhere we have a padding value. I gotta find that. Hey, Kyle. How's it going? It's going pretty well. This game is shaping up to be more of a game. Then we'll have 3 sub games in Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And yeah, I don't know, for anyone who hasn't seen the logo, we've got nearly the final thing. It is this one on the side. Yeah. I really like this. It'll eventually be on a hoodie that I can wear. This one's kind of interesting though. I don't know what color we should have the hoodie be for this. Probably gray. It's like on a blue background, probably wouldn't be as visible. But yeah, that'll be neat. I never got a Botland hoodie, but I have a bunch of Botland t-shirts. Yeah, it looks good. I like it a lot. How's it made? Did I do the art? Hey, for that. No, this is all done by Quickie Joe. So Quickie Joe did a bunch of like wireframes. I mean, it's kind of weird to say that when it's not 3D art, but yeah, like some kind of 2D sketches of what they could all look like. We narrowed it down to these. And I think the one on the left is pretty good too. I just think the colors would need to change a bit. But I think the one on the right is just way better in my mind. Hey, Flashy. So yeah, as far as I know how he did it, I think he just uses Photoshop and just like sketches. He probably has a tablet, but I've actually never asked. But I assume he has a tablet. I imagine drawing with a mouse is probably a little crazy. All right, so we got to go find out where supply crates change their padding. Where is that? I could have sworn it was called padding. Wait, no, padding is here. Yeah, what? Yeah, weird. I could have sworn I searched for this. Okay, so 14 is what we have it set to right now. Can I visualize this somehow? I would love to visualize this. Because if I set this down to 1, let's say, how does this work? One on the right is your favorite? Yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the colors too. All right, so now if we blast our way through here, can the monster walk through that? No. And it's okay if they can't walk through this. I'm okay if there's like a 1 tile gap. But if I destroy this one as well, they should be able to walk through it. And yeah, now they can. So I think we probably just get rid of the padding around that. Oh God. Oh God, they're going to catch me. They probably can get stuck there. Yeah, they can get stuck a little bit. Because they're not actually aware of the crates. Actually, this is kind of why this is stupid, right? I should just switch to a nav mesh. Because then we don't need to do any of this garbage. I think this would be a lot better. What, Flashy? I cannot sleep thinking if a story plot a man experiencing existential dread as his nightmares. Then I saw your stream. Let me try to parse this. I think what you're saying is you're unable to sleep. You're thinking of a story where someone's having nightmares, and because you can't sleep, you came to the stream. Yeah. I don't know what makes a game hit, story or gameplay. I think that's uh, for one. I think there are people who only like gameplay, people who only like stories, and then people who like both. So you could have the best story in the world, and the people who only like gameplay aren't going to care. Like a lot of times, I do not care whatsoever about the story in a game. That doesn't mean the game's bad. It just means it's not for me. So I think both of them are important depending on your audience. Like if you make a visual novel game, actually I've never played a visual novel. I have no interest whatsoever because like I said, I don't really like stories, but is there any gameplay in them? Like does the gameplay have to be good? Is the gameplay just making some basic choices and advancing a story? Because in my mind, and again, I don't know this, but they're basically just like interactive books. Whereas a game is more like an interactive movie. So in my mind, visual novels aren't really exactly games. I know they are. I kind of define game as just something with interaction that can roughly be construed as fun. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I want to switch to a nav mesh because I think this is kind of silly. Yeah. It would remove code and make it much easier to visualize what's happening. Depends on the game. Times I'm heavily in the mood for a narrative. Other times I don't care. Yeah. Yeah. Good games are really good at what they're trying to make the player experience. Yeah. I generally agree. Except for I'm almost never in the mood for a storyline in a game. Yeah. I don't know why. I've just never cared. And I guess I guess the best story to me is one that does not have like 14 minutes of cutscenes at the beginning of the game. God, there was some Legends of Mana or some Trials of Mana. I forgot what it was called exactly. Some newer game in the Mana series that I tried starting to play this and it was almost like a joke. There were I think 8 cutscenes at the beginning, and you moved from like or you moved across a bridge and it was like another cutscene now. I was like, could you please let me play the game? I don't even know if I like this game. I don't want to watch this much about a story if I'm gonna hate the combat or something. So yeah, that I'm never in the mood for. But something like a Mario game where the story is pretty much, hey, Bowser kidnapped the princess and then yeah, sure, modern Mario games now will have some other thing happening here and there, maybe some sparse dialogue. Like yeah, that's more amenable to me. But yeah, hit me with 10 minutes of cutscenes at the beginning of a game and I will almost certainly tune out. The thing about a nav mesh is we're still going to need some extra space around our collision objects. All right, let's come back to this. Yeah, contact damage. Contact damage for the boss monster is 25. Okay, pretty reasonable. This is not contact damage. Don't need any of this. Don't need any of that. Don't need this stuff. Here it is. Okay, looks good. These are all the new animations. New animations. Cool. So let's check that in. So allow varying monster contact damage. Bosses now deal 25 damage instead of 20. Oh, wait a second. You're not guaranteed to take the extra 5 damage because you could have more defense. All right, I did not think of that. We might want to cap defense at 20. I'll just write this when it comes to balancing. Consider capping defense at 20. That way bosses do 5 damage and regular monsters do 1. Under 10 hours long, stick with plot, more like a linear experience. Yeah. I think the only games I want to play for a long time are the quote unquote infinitely replayable games. Like Slay the Spire 2. To beat Slay 2 doesn't take 1,000 hours, but you could play for 1,000 hours. But if you're considering a game like any Zelda game, it's like to beat a Zelda game takes pretty much no more than like 30 to 40 hours at most. Well, I guess it depends on what you consider to be beating it. If you consider it to be like getting all the quests done or something, then yeah, it can be kind of crazy. How long to beat Tears of the Kingdom? What do people say for the main story of this? Okay, 60. Yeah, so sure, but the total completionist stuff like that I typically don't want to do. I won't tend to play a game like this for 100 hours, but I would tend to play a game like Slay the Spire 2 for 100 hours. Preference for story games like 10 to 20 hours. Yeah. Yeah, especially if there's still new story content to be told. Like at some point I'm probably going to stop caring. But yeah, when I say infinitely replayable, it's like I'm playing the finals now. It's just a first person shooter. It's like they could probably make no updates to the game and it'd still be fun for me for a pretty long time because it's just the main fun comes from playing against other people. Now, with that said, I do like seeing new stuff in a game. Yeah, I play Slay 2. I have 2 more characters to ascend and then I'm done. And I'm on level 10 with both of them. Silent and Necrobinder. And last night I got to the second Act 3 boss and I got them down to half life and then I died. And I was like, oh man, never gonna get this done. All right, so this is finished. Now let's go take a look at the next thing. The next thing we want to check in is probably the health bar thing. Yeah, I think this looks good. Animate the health bar, changing values. Cool. What's after that? Let's add in the death gun animation. I didn't actually test this out. I'm kind of curious. This entire file was just death gun stuff, right? Yep. Cool. And isn't this? Yeah, let's go try it. 8-10 every character second week. Yeah, you probably played a lot of Slay 1. Part of what I try to do with both Slay games is avoid any online tips whatsoever. So I'm sure there's some like general rules of thumb you could learn and you'd be like way better at the game. And I wanted to just be stuff that I learned myself. All right, so if we die here, we should play the death animation. Let's go try that out. Nice. Yeah, that looks really good. And it should prevent us from moving too, right? Yeah, perfect. Wow. Yeah, 1,100 hours. Yeah. I think if I had that much time, I'd probably have learned all the little tips that people are talking about online. Like I saw on my YouTube feed, there was something that popped up that said like, I'm just gonna make up a title because I don't remember the exact thing. Like 70% of players do this and lose because of it. Like I wanted to watch that video and find out, oh, what is it that I'm doing that's wrong? But I did not watch that video. I have no idea what it is that those people are doing. And as I'm playing now, I'm like, what could it be? What is it that people are doing wrong? Death animation for the player. We should probably play all of those and see what it's like. Let's go take a look. There should be Death Gun Down. I'm just going to play these in the editor. We'll just see what they look like. Actually, no, let's check it in first and then do this, because I don't want to change the reset values. Yeah, because I can always amend the commit. All right, so here is, this is not working. That's exactly why I want to do it this way, because I'm probably going to mess up the scene. Let's turn off all the collision shapes. So here's them dying facing downward. Here's them dying facing down and left. We're just going to look at all the animations and make sure they're good. I can't imagine any of them would be wrong. They're all the same. I like how they dropped the gun on the ground. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there. All right, yeah, they all look good. So let's not save that and make sure it didn't save anything. Perfect. All right, so base room. So now we're just on the navigation part. I want a visualization of this. Can you add a debug visualization? A debug bool that, when true, will enable a visualization of the walkable and non-walkable tiles. I can't tell if there's just a, where is that padding thing done? Base room. This is set. Yeah, let's go try that out. Get the feeling you look at your big Steam library and say, whoa, how will I climb this mountain of video games? No, I don't tend to buy a lot of Steam games. I see people playing new games having switched to play exclusives. But I think I don't have enough time to complete my library. 300 games in this lifetime. Yeah, I don't accumulate a bunch of games that I want to play. And this is not like it was an active decision. It's just there aren't that many games I want to play to begin with. So I tend to only buy the games that I think I'll enjoy. And if I don't enjoy it, then I don't want to go back and play it again. Like I bought DK Bonanza on the Switch too. And I played it for a bit. And then I got kind of bored. And like I probably won't go back and play it again. And it's sad. I think this is going to stop me from buying as many games in the future. But yeah, that it is what it is now. So it's not on my list of games that it's like, well, someday I'll go back and play that again. It's like, I probably won't. I probably just won't. And I think this was the big learning for me in the last maybe like 5 years, is that many Nintendo games that I would have enjoyed now no longer provide the same enjoyment. So I bought Super Mario Wonder, I think it's called. And I played it for like 2 hours. I don't know. It seems like a good game. Just for whatever reason, I'm not inclined to play it anymore. So I think I just got to stop buying games. And yeah, the new hotness that people are talking about is the Ocarina of Time remake, which is not out yet. But when it is out, I don't think I'm going to buy it. I just can't imagine what price it would have to be for me to say, yes, this is worth it. Honestly, it'd probably be like $3 or $5. And I know what it takes to make video games. I know the game is not worth $3 or $5 from just a creation perspective. But yeah, for the amount of enjoyment I'll probably get out of it, that's probably what I'd be willing to pay. And that means I won't buy it. It's not a midlife crisis. It's that my enjoyment of video games has changed. I wanted to do a video essay or something about this. And I started enumerating all the reasons for it. I think the biggest thing, if I were to just bundle it down to a paragraph or so that I could explain succinctly, is novelty. I have played tons of games at this point. I have played tons of genres. And I think that when a game or genre feels new, that it leads to the most enjoyment for me. There are some mainstays that I think are fine. But even then, it's like action RPG. Like, I just don't care to play any action RPGs anymore. I'll probably go back and play Diablo 2 every once in a while. This is still like the gold star of action RPG for me. But yeah, I didn't find Diablo 3 interesting. I didn't find Diablo 4 interesting. And I don't think it's the games. I think the games are fine. I think I just got what I wanted out of Diablo 2, and now the genre has to do something like wildly different for me to enjoy it. And yeah, that's, you pick any genre. There's like a couple of games I'll probably really like in that genre. And there's some genres I don't care for. I don't like horror games. So I don't have a favorite horror game. I just don't plan on playing them. Hey Godman GM. I hate the bias. Just to play with my daughter. Oh yeah, I think enjoying it through someone else's eyes is still pretty interesting for me. I've watched so many people play Super Metroid and so many people play A Link to the Past. And I enjoyed watching people try to like solve those puzzles. Then it became harder and harder. I mean, these are very old games, so it's hard to find someone who hasn't played them before because and who would enjoy them, because as games get more and more, quote unquote modern, the people who can enjoy these games shrinks. The number of people shrinks. And it's sad. It's just sad. But the thing I've always kind of asserted is that every piece of media has a lifespan. And outside of that span, you need some kind of remake to allow for people to enjoy it again. And it means that maybe another 10 years or 15 years, if you show the average gamer Super Metroid, they might be like, yeah, I'm just not interested. And it's not to say they couldn't be interested, but you'd have to recreate it with modern graphics and with modern gameplay expectations, something telling you what to do or where to go. Because I know people make fun of this a lot, like, oh, Ocarina of Time, but what if it was a modern game and there's like 4 different overlapping voice dialogues? But it's like, there's a reason why that happens. And if you don't watch someone go back and play an old game and see the kind of frustrations they hit that they're not expecting to hit, then it's hard to understand that. All right, so in here we now have show navigation debug tiles. And this is on a floor layer. Did we export this? Because, yeah, I want to see what this looks like. Yeah, it is exported. All right, so in the starter room, I guess I want to just set this floor. Done on, let's try it out. Games will hit the same now and it's not really their fault. Yeah, exactly. Wait a second, what is this visualizing? Because I don't see anything. I don't see anything. So if this is on, then we get to use cells and then draw a rectangle around that. And we have 2 particular colors here. And yeah, it's either red or green and like half opacity. Strangely, I'm not seeing anything render. I wonder if it doesn't handle opacity at all. Like, let's try setting this to colors.red and colors.green. I'd be surprised if drawing a rectangle can't handle opacity, but maybe it's supposed to be done through a different means. No, I don't see anything. So something else is probably wrong here. Probably not the draw color. All right, so is this code being hit? It is being hit. And are there any used cells? Yes. So then we should be drawing this. Maybe get local cell bounds is not in screen space. 384, 288. Huh, strange. Filled is true by default. Width is -1. What does that mean? I guess it doesn't matter if it's filled. Yeah, strange. I don't see this drawing anywhere. Or it's drawing before we've drawn everything else. So we're not seeing this on top of everything. It might be that. I'd be kind of surprised. But yeah, let's look into this when I get back from my break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. hello, close the game. Hey, cold brew. Okay, so where we left off was this, and we couldn't see these graphics show up. I wonder if they're beneath something, so let's just go turn some things off in the scene and see if we can spot anything. We should see some bright rectangles. So if I turn off, I don't know. I'm doing this off screen, but you'll be able to see the results over here. Oh, wait, no, there is a rectangle. Oh, no, that's different. So starter room, if I turn off the floors, interesting. Yeah, none of this should matter. Monster node. Supply crate. Yeah, none of this stuff should have any impact. I almost feel like it's the floor itself. It's my post-volunteering time. Hey, Galaxy Inferno, thanks for the resub. How'd it go today? You have a good one? Yeah, I don't see anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything. Also, canvas modulate is on. We gotta delete that too. Basic room. And delete canvas modulate from base room. Huh. What does this mean? Well, where's the floor layer exactly? Starter room scene has floor. Floor has the floor layer. Okay, so if I would need to turn off parts of the floor layer here. Can I do this while it's running? Oh no, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. Oh, they're still gonna kill me. There's no way to stop them from doing that. I can't delete this fast enough. Oh man. All right. Well, that's too bad. I mean, we could try deleting sections of the room from here. Does that work? Oh, nice. It does work. And it does prove my theory here. And it actually goes to show that this is why this is so bad, because here's what's happening. None of these are walkable. When I go and shoot these positions, okay, well, that's weird. They're gray now? Why is that? Oh, I gotta delete them again. I gotta set them again. Yeah, all right. This is a little bit wacky. So this is considered walkable up here. No, it's not considered walkable. Something funky's going on. But yeah, this shows without a doubt that these are just gigantic shapes. And I mean, you can see it right in the editor. Like the size of a cell in the tile map is way bigger than the size of the crates. Only had an organizational meeting with other teachers. I guess that's part of volunteering too, admin planning. Really nice to reconnect. Had a lot of work-related-ish stress the last month. Good to talk to some sane people again. Man, I'm sorry to hear about the stress. I think work-related stress hits different too. This gray cloud over you for a long time. But yeah, nice. Yeah, I sometimes think about my own game dev as requiring some admin days and just not necessarily fun tasks, not necessarily super boring, just maybe not the most streamable stuff sometimes. All right, well, all this points to needing a nav mesh. I think we'll just delete all this code. Because yeah, I think the code is working well, but the problem is the size of our tile map tiles. And I don't think it's worth changing that. What is this size? It's 48 by 48. How would we do this if we wanted to work around this? We'd probably change them to be 16 by 16, which would make it really annoying to work with. But we might be able to do that by just changing the... No, we wouldn't be able to. We need it. No, hang on. Maybe we would. We need to change... Oh my God. I think we need to shrink the graphic by 2/3 and then run it through that tool online. And then we'd have 16 by 16 and we'd have to draw out each individual thing. It might be worth doing that. Yeah, it might be worth doing that. This is unfortunate though. All right, let's go try it out. How do we do this? How do we do this? Dungeon. Here. So I manually extracted these graphics, I think. But I think we need to shrink it and then manually extract it. There's some ImageMagick command for doing this. Yeah, I want to figure out what that is. And we got to go find the exact same graphics that we have from before. And then this is going to break every single map that we have too. Isn't this fun? Isn't this just the best? Whoops. All right, where are the dull ones? Here they are. Why is there something in here? So we use this blue wall with a dark blue. Where is that? There. Okay, so we use that one. And we use the one just next to it, I think. Yeah, this should match this one, right? Yes. So we use both of those. All right, so we need to do is figure out the coordinates of that. So 0, 2, 40. Is that correct? 5, 15. Yeah, 16 times 15. Okay, good. And how big is it? 96 by 240. And then the other one has to be off by just 96 pixels, right? So just like that. All right, then we want to shrink it. Then we want to run it through that tool. Will the tool work for this? Such a big part of the week time-wise, and yeah, it can really impact the mind. Signs of improvement. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, my new kick is trying to go to sleep at the same time every night and seeing how that impacts my days. And I think it's been pretty good so far. It's still hard for me to fall asleep when I go to bed. And not because I'm not trying to. Like, I have an eye mask on. I'm not able to see anything. I just still I just still keep thinking about stuff. It does work, but it's so boring. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. Hey Pressel. Life-changing sleep supplement suggestion. Yes, please. Are you me? I'm literally doing the same thing with my sleep. Yeah, I've been waking up at the same time every day consistently, but it doesn't matter when I go to sleep. So if I go to sleep at midnight, I wake up at 6 a.m. If I go to sleep at 10 p.m., I wake up at 6 a.m. So since I can't seem to adjust my wake up time, I can only adjust my sleep time. Yeah. All right, so there's the tool here, WebTiler. Here it is. So RPG Maker. So if we get this to work, yeah, let's go try this. So I have a sprite sheet. Actually, this doesn't even need to be one of these. I can just do this here. All right, what is it, magic? Yeah. What is the magic command to take input.png and generate output.png from the following steps? Only take the section from positioned at 0 to 40, whose size is 96 to 40, and and shrink the output using nearest neighbor interpolation such that it's 1/3 the original size. So in this case, 32 by 80. Yeah, this should not be a very difficult question. I expect it to just spit out the command. I'll run the command. We'll see if it works. All right, easy. Repage sample output. Okay, great. So now we go test this out. After you move in 2 weeks, you started packing? Did we talk about this already? That's new here. No, this is Codex, and it's somewhat new. I forgot exactly when I signed up. I was using Claude before that, but I wasn't really actively using it a lot on stream. I'm starting to use it more now because the way I look at it is, one, it saves me time. Two, it's almost impossible for me to burn through my entire weekly usage just with just the way I normally code and the way I normally do things. But this in particular is something I always would have asked. Like, I never want to figure out the arguments to a command line thing like this and then test it out and like, did I get it wrong? Did I get it right? Is there some other way of doing this? This is just the easiest possible way. Same thing with FFmpeg in the future. Probably just going to use AI to figure out what the commands are. All right, so now we got to go find the right input and output. The right input is this dungeon walls. So copy path. And the right output is, I guess, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. Output.png is fine. So let's just run this from the temp folder. Now let's open up output.png. Yeah, looks good. Now let's try running it through this tool though. Click RPG Maker and then drop this file here. So temp output and drop here and then save. And this should work and it should be smaller. Just sure, whatever, save it as download.png. All right, what is this? And how does it compare to this other graphic? Also, you want to guess what the usage of Affinity is right now? It's probably gigabytes. I have a bunch of tabs open, but it just goes nuts. Yeah, 6 gigabytes. Like, there's no reason for this. And even if I close all the tabs, I think it's still kind of crazy. It might not be as much though. Okay, no, it is better. But yeah, I have a bunch of 2D images open and it's like, yeah, I think 600 megabytes per image is probably good. Excuse me. Guys, I want to see how these compare. They should look pretty much identical. They do not. I mean, this doesn't look bad. It's just without the correct borders, I think this is going to look bad in the game. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. It's almost the same as Anti-Gravity or Gemini. Yeah, I think all the desktop apps look pretty similar because it just needs a prompt area and a way to specify files and stuff. Is it good like a replacement to Photoshop? I haven't used Photoshop in practically ever, actually. I've used it like once or twice in my life. So I don't know if it's a good replacement. But I don't think it's the best program in the world. Oh, wait, width and height. Did we lose details when I ran this program, though? Maybe we did. Let me go take a look at that. Yeah, we did. Oh, man. I mean, we're not dead in the water, just to be clear. We have another way of doing this, and it's the nav mesh. I just thought maybe we could do this differently. How many pixels wide are these? Like 10? 12, I guess, if you count the whole brick here. This should be fine, right? I guess not, because we're cutting this from 12 down to 3 pixels. So it'd need to know to retain the border. If I just run this and I set this to just divide by 3 and resize, it's going to also look bad, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we ran the commands correctly and everything. It just turns out we need minimally 48 by 48 pixels for all of these. Oh, bought a house. But I don't remember this. You might have talked about it though, but congrats. Takes ages to finalize all the legal stuff. Yeah, I heard about this. I had 3 mentees when I was streaming the public mentoring session, and then like one-off mentee, and one of them lived in Germany, and he bought a house, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm moving in like a year." I think he also wanted to do renovations, but yeah, I think part of it was paperwork stuff. All right, so tile sizes are just very large here, and there's no other way to get these to look the way I want, right? I wonder if this is going to cause a problem. Because what I'm about to do is change quite a lot in order to accommodate a different tile size. And if we run into problems down the road, what if I set this to 16 by 16? Does that just break everything? Yes. Okay. Hmm. Got to look at the empty house yesterday to confirm it's empty. Don't ask. That was exciting. Did you go in like Luigi's Mansion? Did you have a vacuum cleaner on your back and it is spoofed expression? Oh my god. Okay. What? What is this? And why is this an IMDb page? Hold on a second. Is this like a YouTube video? I got a 5.8, whatever it is. Oh man. Yeah, I think we just switched to a nav mesh. This tile system wouldn't work unless we expand. Okay, there's another solution we could do. We could expand the character to be like we could triple the size of everything else rather than cutting everything else into 1/3. That would actually work. It'd also be very tedious. Okay, so the problem with fixing our bug is that the tiles are triple the size that they should be because that's all we have in terms of graphics. 48 by 48 graphics, not 16 by 16. We can't just shrink the graphics or else we lose fidelity. So option 1 is expand everything else by a factor of 3x. 2 is switch to a nav mesh. And 3 is... No, it's pretty much just those two. I don't think there is another solution, is there? I mean, use different tiles, I guess. Use different tile graphics. I don't plan on doing that, though. 3 streams, neat. Yeah, Ultramar. I'm confused. No ghosts. Don't worry about the confusion. There was a video game called Luigi's Mansion where he had to catch ghosts or something. I never actually played it. But you said you were there to confirm the house is empty. So my mind immediately jumped to, oh, they're not supposed to be ghosts living there. If we were to resize the character up by a factor of 3, how bad would this look? Is this truly what this looks like right now? You think video game graphics are going to get even better? I think diminishing returns have already started. I think the ways in which graphics can start to look better is in individual movements or expressions, maybe. And even then, I feel like there's been a lot of work done on that front. So, yeah, I think we've kind of hit whatever realistic peak we can hit at this point, at least for 2D stuff. Yeah, I guess if this is some wall detail, this does look bad. And we can't just trim this down to a third. No, we probably can't. It'll have the exact same problem, won't it? I mean, I'll just try it just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this. There. Don't accidentally buy that, people, with the house. You do that before you pay. There's more security that you don't need to sue the other person. Yeah, there's a lot of weird laws around that in the US, as far as I know. Generally called squatters' rights. Hey, look at the tiny monster. Oh, the tiny monster still killed us. That's right. Okay, so now in terms of difference in size between you and the walls, it probably looks better. Obviously, the crates are really tiny now and the door is really tiny. It's kind of funny that you can even play the game like that. Well, I'm gonna die. Well, the potion there had a good size because we were on the other stage, but here, actually, no, maybe it's the same size. No, yeah, the potions didn't change size, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah, now we can run. I mean, the other thing we can do is just not position crates in such a way that this ever matters. I guess that's another option. Or just let monsters walk through crates or something. Yeah. Actually, if a regular monster hits you when you're touching the boss, then you only take 1 damage instead of taking the boss damage. That's fine. Alright, I'll kill the summoners. There, you're dead, you're dead. I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna blast enemies right now, though. How fun is playing your own creation? I think it's neat seeing things come together. I think, it's kind of hard to play a game that you make and be surprised by it. And I think surprise is an important element in having fun. It's like if you make your own story-driven game, I don't think you're gonna have fun playing it really. It's like the story you're trying to tell. But seeing it come together surprises you because you're like, oh, I'm already at that point or I'm at this point. I think the thing that might confound that a little bit is like multiplayer games. I think you could enjoy a multiplayer game you made. And maybe if there was like a, I don't know, some emergent gameplay kind of thing, like you make a roguelike and you come up with builds in it that are just totally wild and broken. That's probably fun too. Don't you notice new to-dos every time you play? Yeah. Although eventually those do die down with enough polished sessions. All right, I'm not certain what I want to do for this. Option 4, just leave the navigation as it is. Monsters will path weirdly around crates that don't exist. Or, well, not even crates that don't exist, around crates sometimes. Well, we want this for any. I'm just gonna switch to nav mesh. Yeah, I'm overthinking this. Let's just do this. Let's just see how it is, because this is a waste of my time. Waste of my time severely. All right, so let's leave all that the way that it was. I probably did not fix the transform, did I? Nope. Now I did. All right, so we're just gonna gut all of this. Yeah, we're just gonna gut all of this. All right, goodbye code. Oops. I deleted the wrong thing. All right, it doesn't matter. The thing I deleted that I didn't mean to is I had some, I could probably just Command Z and get it back, right? No, I can't. All right, well, whatever. Anyway, I had some monsters and some crates in here. I can just add those again. That's not too bad. But yeah, I want to have this changed to just a nav mesh because this is ridiculous. Change top down. Change the top down shooter so that instead of whatever we're doing in the floor layer here, navigation block counts, tile map layer, overriding tile map layer functions for navigation. We use a nav mesh that gets rebaked whenever a crate is added or removed. And then where is that Godot nav mesh? There's some like using navigation somewhere here. Yeah. Read this for any extra info. All right, I'm gonna have it plan this. Yeah. All right, good. Started another Factorio save. Is there no depth to your madness? Or does this all just have to do with redirected moving stress? You're like, I could pack or I could make a factory. I know, I'll make a factory. No, I don't blame you. If you like a game, you like a game. I have played Stardew Valley a few times, and each time I play, I'm always like, oh God, I have to fish again. I have to, whatever, get this like mini quest done. And my enjoyment drops a little bit each time, but I'm like, but the good parts of the game, building up, getting skills, experience points. Still baffled that you don't like it. It's job simulator. I don't want to do more job after my job. Need to distract myself from stressful thoughts. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Have you tried other factory games? Because I've played a few different factory games and I feel the same way about all of them. I played Astroneer. I think this is a factory game. They have factory on here somewhere. Factory. Okay, well, whatever. It felt like a factory game. I played that Subterranean one. Subterranean factory game. I always forget the name of that one. Tectonica, yeah. Wow, this has pretty bad reviews. 63%. Huh. Yeah, I did not like this. I played Factorio for a little bit. I don't remember what other ones I played. Yeah. What I did like was a game called Factory Town, I think. Yeah, this game. Maybe because this was my first entry in the like the factory game series. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, this one was pretty fun. I think it also fits the aesthetic that I enjoyed. But even this got pretty tedious at some point. Yeah, I haven't played Captain of Industry or Satisfactory. Heard good things about Satisfactory though. You also started the Satisfactory save. Fell asleep while playing Stardew Valley, being stuck. Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do in Stardew Valley. I think generally you can kind of carve your own path if you don't feel like just following the quests that are there. You know, I hope this does a good job. If it doesn't, I could always add this in myself. We had stuff in town here, rebake navigation mesh. Yeah, nav region. What is this? Navigation region 2D. Sometimes after building the key grinder, workers still act like only the sign is there. Yeah, I don't think there's be problems in this game. I won't know. Mecha Chameleon, I've heard of this. I have not actually seen it. Paint yourself to blend in. Man. Yeah, this game's doing pretty well, it seems. There's a video series online that I really enjoyed. Super Mario 64 Hide and Seek. They get a bunch of speedrunners together and they've got some custom rules here, but they have a multiplayer mod of Super Mario 64. And I mean, I'll just link this in the chat. They have a multiplayer mod of Super Mario 64, so it can have like 16 people or 20 people or something. And they've got a seeker and then a bunch of people hiding. And you're only allowed to do certain things, so you can't just like, you can't kind of like infinitely hide and you can't cheat and stuff. And then as the match goes on, they add more seekers in, so it doesn't take forever. They never actually talk about in any of those videos, they never talk about how long these sessions last, but I have a feeling they're like some small number of hours. But the videos make it seem like there's constant action. There is not constant action. I think for a lot of people, they're just like literally sitting there waiting for a long time. Anyway, I hope this ends up. Let's just read through what this is doing. Current implementation is exactly this. Yep. I don't want that anymore. This would work totally fine if our crate size matched our room size. And I hope we don't run into a problem down the road with this. I think we might. Yeah, I think we might. Because all of our walls are now triple the size they should be, right? So probably need to make everything triple the size. I want to say it would be easy to do, but it'd probably involve changing a lot of coordinates and everything. How tall is a character compared to the average like wall here? They're the same size, yeah. But in this game, they wouldn't be. I don't think I even have a wall node, do I? No, we do have some. Yeah, and they're triple size walls here. So if I put this down here and then just use the ruler and measure this. Yeah, it's triple size. Just making sure. But wait a second, that's the only graphics that we have for this. Did they ever mention this on here? Did they say what the size is? 16 by 16. I mean, I get in this case that it's actually 3 tiles. But then these aren't 16 by 16, are they? They're not, right? No, they're 48 by 48. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Hey, Latchaway. What happened in that 2D platform game you're making? So that's a sub game inside of Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. So we're still working on Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, just not the platformer part of it anymore. So when you go to the title screen in this game and start a new game here. Nope. Let me do this and this and this. Yeah, so if you just click start game, you're in the platformer. But you eventually make it out of here into another game, and then out of that game into another game. So now we're working on the third game in that series. So eventually this character will look like the main character still. They just, you know, the right colors and everything. Hey Crows, thanks for the resub. I like Ryder. I think there's some frustrations with it. I think there are frustrations with pretty much every ID I've used. Like one of the problems that I have is that there's a dialogue I'm trying to get to pop up and it's just disabled in the menu. It's not like it's a shortcut thing. And that's it. I just have to restart the ID and then I can get that dialogue again. And yeah, I don't like problems like that. Sounds like a lot. Oh yeah, it is. Ooh, I'm about to die. Yeah, how are you doing, Crows? How's your life been? All right, so what does this come up with in terms of a plan? Should just be make a nav mesh, right? Place custom tile map layer runtime navigation override with a room-owned 2D nav mesh baker. Baker will build a navigation polygon from the floor bounds plus live create obstruction outlines, then rebake whenever they're registered or removed. Remove this usage from the room floor, keep floor as a normal tile map layer. So the old tile navigation cannot bypass crate holes. Add a nav mesh. Creates a navigation server 2D, builds this, bakes asynchronously, applies a completed polygon. Plus tile size as traversable outline. What does this mean? Use the floor tile map layer, get used rectangle, plus tile size as traversable outline. Okay. Use each live supply creates navigation obstacle 2D vertices as obstruction outline. Set create obstacle effect navigation mesh equals true. And configure bake clearance from the existing monster. Placing the old crate cell padding behavior, yeah. In base room, place the floor layer, references, the tile map layer, plus a new nav mesh node. Centralize crate registration in base room. Initialize audio, subscribe to destroyed. Install scene authored crates during room init. Guard async completion with is inside tree or region still valid check. Yeah, sounds pretty good. You know, if I were making this desktop app and wanted to supercharge my business, you know, in a lot of like, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about this from the fast food ordering world, but it's like supersize this for whatever, X dollars extra. They could have, does this plan sound good? And it's like, yes, no. And it's like, yes, but run it quickly. And it's like 1.5x usage or speed and usage. And I'm actually kind of surprised they don't surface that a second time for you. I know you can customize it ahead of time, but once you're just looking at the yes or no, I don't think you can change it. How transferable are skills from reading chat's ideas to reading AI output, like in terms of reading weirdly written coding ideas and parsing that information? I think the AI is usually pretty specific, and if it ever isn't, you can ask it and it'll respond pretty quickly with, oh, here's what I meant by that line. The other nice thing about this is that whatever it says is just a plan. And then what it does is what you need to verify anyway. And there are two means of verification. One is just running it and empirically seeing what it does. And the other is inspecting the code and seeing if it works how it should work, if there are any bugs that aren't immediately apparent. So you, in my mind, you kind of have like 3 layers of defense as a, you know, single player game developer. Now, if you were doing something, any like multiplayer things, or if you're running like tools or infrastructure or something like that, you have a lot of other concerns you need to look at. But yeah, like the worst case scenario, let's say this messes up terribly, is like monsters walk through walls or something. It's not the biggest deal. It's not a security nightmare. In the game world, it is. Monsters walking through walls. You don't need to open locked doors. But yeah, there's almost no fallout, which is nice. Started my own company. It's been going well so far. A lot of activities I had to handle around it, but now things are getting a bit more stable. Is the curveball the opportunity to start your own company, or is there something else going on there? Because that sounds really exciting. And if you don't mind sharing more details, I'd love to hear more. Like, what kind of company is it? How did the curveball happen? Because this is something I almost don't know how to articulate this. I feel like there are lots of opportunities in life, and it's never obvious when one is present or when you should take it. Or it's maybe not never, it's not always obvious. And sometimes it takes some like just kind of basic assumptions. I think a lot of the way that Mythos works with security analysis is that it's just like look at this one function and analyze everything that could go wrong. And you just do this times however many functions you have in your code base. And it's like a human's never going to do that, but the machine can. And I almost wonder if you had some like life AI thing where it's just like, look at all of the decisions I'm making and ask these questions like, how many are out of fear? How many are out of complacency? How many are out of, I don't know, whatever other negative thing you might think of here. And then be like, oh my God, I never thought about that. Yeah, like I'm not going for promotion because I'm worried that it's gonna be too much work, or I'm whatever hanging out with the people I'm hanging out with because I'm afraid of being lonely or something. I don't know. Like, what if we had that kind of fine-tooth comb over our lives? And what would we understand or discover about ourselves? So anyway, yeah, the curveball, it sounds like, yeah, it might just have been an opportunity that you identified as an opportunity and jumped on it. It sounds like that's really good that you did that. And when I look back at my own life and I think the first time I feel like I did this and it was super impactful was in 2015 when I quit my job and started a company and worked on Botland. And it was really cool. And it just felt like the right thing at the time. But there's a fork in the road where I could have just stayed at my job. And who knows what my life would have looked like then. Probably I wouldn't have done all this game stuff. And by the way, this is why I think the tenet system I have is so important. It's like, what are your values? You can just literally list them out and then check every week if you're abiding by those values. And if your value is like, I want to develop games someday, it's like you can have someday do a lot of heavy lifting when you're like 15 years old. Yeah, sure, someday. It doesn't matter. It could be someday in the future. It's like it does less heavy lifting when you're 25, and then, less at 35 and less at 45 and less at 55 and so on and so forth until you're, 65 years old and you say, hey, I want to develop games someday. It's like, you should probably just start now. Your total lifespan in terms of how much you have left will shrink, of course. We are finite beings, but I don't think people think about that exactly. Like, something's got to encourage you to move forward, and it's typically not going to be another person. It's going to be you yourself. Are you saying I should start now? Like that Sears air conditioning commercial. Hey, Juice Box here. Started my own company last year, signed 2 clients, and I'm like confusingly profitable. Oh, man. Is this the legal stuff you were telling me about? But it's good to hear. I mean, this is when people say good problem to have, I think this is the kind of thing they're talking about. A consultancy, okay. So this is not the legal stuff. Yeah. What is this intrinsic motivation you're talking about? Well, it's not even it's like intrinsic pulling the trigger, not even the motivation necessarily. The motivation can still come from other people, but then you at some point need to be the one to take that leap. That's all. One of the clients I was handling at the company wasn't happy with the current management, so I saw an opportunity, offered them the option of continuing the work with me directly. Wow, yeah, super cool. Yeah. And yeah, the activities to handle around it. I think there's a lot that people don't expect when they get into something. And my experience is in game development, but now that I have a game dev business, there are a lot of aspects to it that I think people don't generally think about. And one of the maybe more apparent ones is, okay, you made a game, it did well. Now you hire people for the next game, and now you're beholden to only ever making good games or profitable games. And it's like, okay, well, if you got into game dev for creative endeavors and now you're making, Super Monkey Ball 8. You might find a schism between how you started and where you are now. But there are more than that. I just want to talk about one of these things. Here, Prodigy Art. Using ChatGPT plus or a higher level plan. I find Plus is kind of limited for getting beyond initial prototypes. We're running out of juice. Yeah, I'm just using the $20 a month plan. I'm guessing that's called Plus. And I have never exhausted my quota, but I don't tend to use it a whole lot. And oh, this just reset. It said it would reset on the 18th at like 1 p.m. This is why I was using this more. And now it doesn't matter. I actually don't like how they do that unless they're always going to reset after 6 days. But why not just have this reflect when they actually plan on resetting it? And like this is presumably localized, right? What time zone would it even have to be in? Yeah, 2:18 p.m. So it presumably reset 3 minutes ago. So whatever time it had set here was not correct at all. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so I don't find that it like runs out of juice for me, but I also don't tend to do a whole lot with it, I feel. I think I just hate working on AI features and strategy, and that's all tech wants consultants for right now. But the confusingly profitable part, you made something. You made this consultancy and it's in demand. And that's with just 2 clients. What if you had 3 clients? I get that money doesn't motivate everything. And I think even when it's your own thing, it shouldn't necessarily motivate everything. So you're not sure if you want to move forward. I understand. But I don't know enough specifics to be able to comment too much on it. I hear people talking online about AI bubble popping, and I think there have been a few bubble pops in the past. I think it's been like the .com in the early 2000s, and I guess the stock market in like 2008 maybe. But I don't really think AI is a bubble in the same way. With that said, it doesn't really matter if it's a bubble or not if you don't enjoy it. The Claude blues, Claude oranges. We said it additionally a bunch this week. And I do it multiple times a week whenever enough people complain. Yeah, it always seems like it's been about 6 days. MMORPG bubble. Okay, yeah, that one might have been a bubble too. World of Warcraft, why? Yeah, but the AI fueled depression, identity crises, etc. definitely happens. What is it doing? Is it inspecting supply crate to figure? Is it even planning? No, I had it plan already. So that's editing stuff. I'm just in talking mode right now. We've done actually quite a lot for the day, and I'm pretty happy with it. This I'd still like to do, and I think there were a couple of bug fixes. This is done. Balance stats of all monsters. I think we're done with this. Yeah, so this is all we have to do for balance. Minor spread of the bullets I can just do myself pretty soon. This deleting is pretty easy. Buy the bullet graphics, yeah, that's pretty easy too. I got to do this after the stream though. I'm not doing this on stream. And I'm telling you now, I'm spending $1 because I used 2 tiny graphics from here, and you can pay what you want. So I'm paying $1. I already bought the other graphics from this person, and that was $6. I think that was slightly on the pricey side for what you get. But yeah, if I were using any of these other ones, I'd be like, okay, you know what? That's probably worth like $2-3. But I'm not. Actually, it'd be kind of neat if we tinted these based on your player colors that you chose. I still got to put some time in that. Maybe that's something we do on Friday. It might be worth it. Maybe worth it to devote the day to figuring out colorizing sprites. Need to talk to Quickie Joe about that. I'll probably send a message tomorrow. Maybe, yeah. Ask Quickie Joe what he would want out of colorizing sprites, since he'll probably be the one to draw the masks. I have a general idea of what I want to do here with tooling. Yeah, maybe just send that to him. Maybe just send the tool to him. Want his opinions on coloring and ease of use though. I think it's not sustainable in its current form. Yeah, but I think not sustainable doesn't necessarily mean bubble, at least. Although maybe that's what people mean by a bubble. Just anything that's not sustainable needs to pop. But in my mind, popping a bubble means like everything gets destroyed along the way. And there's maybe, one survivor and it's a shell of what it was. So it might just be a terminology thing. Lots of leaders I'm working with right now are literally just building AI features for shareholders. It's all weird slop that none of their users like or use. Yeah, I hear this a lot. I think AI has helped to some extent. And then I think other people are like, well, now we can just go crazy with it, right? And then going crazy with it has to result in some good stuff happening. Again, Magnus. You have 24 hours to reset the codex rate limits across all plans. Just tweeted like 5 hours ago. How often are they doing this? High error rates. Okay, so they did this in response to some problem, essentially. This is almost like having an SLA in the weirdest possible way. So yeah, I guess I kind of understand that. Hey, Scholar. Tell me why the past 2 days I got so confused working on the first issue when I'm the one that wrote it. Programming's hard some days. Yeah, it is. I think we all need to cut ourselves some slack. All right, so it looks like it's wrapping up right now. Did this just burn through everything here? Honestly, it's not too bad. It seems like almost every game dev task I give it takes somewhere between like 5 and 35% of the quota of the 5-hour limit. And I just don't have that many tasks in 5 hours I need to give it. And like I said, I'm already happy with the progress today. If we can get done with this and this, I'd be pretty happy. Yeah. So I want this to finish up. What time is it in terms of break? Actually, yeah, I should just take my break now because we're 5 minutes from an ad break. So I'll just cue the ad break now. So you know what time it is. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey, Funky Monkey. Hey, Nat. So how was it, Juicebox Hero? Just as good as you remember. Close the game. Also, nothing's gotten too excessive here, just to be clear. It was great. 10 out of 10. Great. Yeah. All right. So did this finish? It did finish. And does it work? I find it unlikely this is just going to work the first time because it generally doesn't handle these all that well. And we can't even test it here. We need to test it in my fake scenario that no longer exists. So let's go set it up again. We need there to be a bunch of crates like so. These don't need to be positioned so exactly. Just got caught up there. All right. And then we put in some monsters. Well, just one monster. We don't need multiple. Put it over there. All right. Now we go test this out. So they should chase us. Yep, they walk around the crow. They kind of try walking around the crates. They get a little bit stuck there. We could probably just extend the radius for that. I need them to get stuck this time. Good, because I need to put some distance between us. Now, if I shoot one of these out, can the monster walk over here? It can't fit, but it's trying. And now it can fit. Okay, so yeah, this is overall a pretty good change. And I think we just need to increase the radius and then everything might be fine. We have navigation obstacle and radius set to 0. Let me take a look at what this looks like. What if I set this to 5? What does this do? Sets the avoidance radius. Yeah, let's just set it to 5 and see what happens. I think it's that in the middle, and I think that means it needs to be even bigger. So I just go stand here. Yeah, they're still getting stuck. What if I set this to that much? Okay, now they're able to make it pretty well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's working. Oh, thanks for the resub, Funky Monkey. Sorry, I didn't see. Happy 2.5 years. I can't even think of a potentially useful AI feature included in any software I use. Oh, man. Okay, you must not use DaVinci then. DaVinci Resolve added a bunch. There's an automatic caption thing. It's fantastic. YouTube actually added a bunch of AI features that I think are really nice, also related to words. Although in this case, they're spoken sometimes. Auto dubbing has been great. I have watched the occasional like French Skeleseller video or German Skeleseller video. And like, I don't speak French or German, at least not well enough to understand the whole video. And they just get auto dubbed in English. And that's also great. And then they also have auto translations for captions. This has been extraordinary. And Pixel added this a lot. Well, not Pixel, I guess. Android added this a while ago for live translating of any audio through your phone. So all of those have been amazing. I'm trying to think of what other AI features. I mean, I use this stuff in editors. So I think Smart Autocomplete in VS Code that I was using through Copilot, that was great. Absolutely great. Loved it. All it needed, and if AI never got better than that, I'd still be like, wow, that was great. Imagine typing something here like private node 2D, something like this. Yeah, where it's like, hey, did you mean camera node? And maybe you didn't in this case, but whatever. Let's say you did mean camera node and you had to type it out. And then down here, you went to type out like underscore whatever. It now knows, oh yeah, hey, this is the next thing you probably want. That has also been fantastic. And that's not like prompted AI. It's just the autocomplete. I'm trying to think of what other AI things in software that I've used. Because I haven't really touched it in things like Google Docs or Google Sheets. It's hard to just enumerate all of them off the top of my head. I used the like magic removal on my phone at one point. I don't really have many scenarios for that. And I wonder how many people use this without realizing. Like on your iPhone, if you tap a subject in an image, I think it just like extracts them from the image, right? I think that's probably an AI feature too. Yeah. Do you have a data set at work with an AI assistant alongside regular search options? Yeah. I guess voice and audio related AI is pretty good. Yeah, I think also any other tedious editing you might do. Like I said, like making captions for a video that you create is not something that's fun. It's a lot of tedious work, and that's like now practically fully automated. Drives me nuts, the AI on videos, at least the ones I've seen. Monotone, blatant AI. Oh, if you're talking about creators using them to replace a human voice, yeah, I think that could be potentially a little annoying. Now, with that said, it might be better than what that creator would have done on their own. They might have a really bad microphone. They might have unclear speech or such a thick accent that they're self-conscious or something. Any number of things that it's like, well, maybe the AI voice is actually like more suitable either for them or for the viewer. Although that's probably subjective. Okay, so we got to go look through all this stuff now. And also, actually, that's another thing. Yeah, more reach to the creator. It might be that they're producing these videos, one for each language, and the person doesn't speak all those languages and doesn't want to rely on auto dubbing, or auto dubbing doesn't exist for the language that they're targeting. So yeah, I think there's a lot of accessibility things where software will just get better as a result of having AI. And actually, I could imagine, like, just as a contrived example, imagine that you needed to type into an editor, but this was not accessible at all. You could have AI read your screen and summarize what's on it, and then tell it how to change things, and it could go type in here for you. I'm pretty sure that's already possible with current tools, and nothing special needs to be done about whatever program we're talking about here. You could still just have it say, like, yeah, type in the text in that spot, or change it in this way. So yeah, I think there are probably a lot of features that people, maybe they don't need them, but sometimes people are probably overlooking them. All right, so why is this here that we need to register these? This seems silly to me. Yeah, this seems silly to me. We never register the same supply crate more than once, do we? No, we don't. So why would they make a hash set for this? I think it's just AI doing something based on a scenario that might exist, but that doesn't right now. But yeah, I don't think this is necessary. Well, this part's necessary, but the register part is not necessary. The is initialized, we just call register on it. Yeah, I'll need to hunt down what this is working. When actually writing code, I leave my agent strictly in plan mode. The robot's gonna have that all day long. All right, let me see this. Nav mesh init. This is its own standalone. Yep. I wonder if this has some accommodation that I didn't put in Skeleseller that caused an issue for Skeleseller. Build source geometry. Isn't this something that can be done automatically? Because this was done in Skeleseller somehow. I don't remember how that was done. All right, let me put on visible navigation, visible collision shapes, visible avoidance, and visible paths. And let's start this again. It's probably gonna be a mess of rectangles. It's actually not too bad. Can you see the paths? I think you need to enable that in the code. So it's not actually trying to path around walls or anything. Let's go see if that is correct. So walls. Do any of these even have collision? This does. So if we put this in the middle of the room, it should path around that. The player can't walk into this, right? No, yeah. So do they path around it or no? They don't. So they're completely unaware. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, so monsters don't path around walls in the tile map layer. All right, let me keep looking through this. Navigation mesh. So initialize that, register supply crates. These are all the ones that existed already. We don't call add supply crate before then though. In fact, what calls add supply crate? Nothing does. Only the treasure room. And this is in ready. Let me think about this. That means that base rooms ready must have been called already, but init wouldn't have been called yet. Yeah. Okay, I'm fine with this. I think it's okay. I still don't think the registration is necessary though. We should just never run into a problem with that. And how did we used to do this? Because the treasure room used to add its own supply crates somehow. Oh, it just made them itself. And then how did it get an audio system? It didn't. At least not through here. Oh, because base room would then initialize them for us. Okay. So yeah, we had an ordering difference. All right, I don't think this is necessary. Yeah, I don't think this is necessary. At least not this bit. And I get why it's doing this. It's to converge on how we add these things because we need to add this to the navigation mesh. So what happens here? Supply crates.add queue rebake. Shouldn't matter either. I don't think we need hash sets for any of this stuff. We only ever add or remove each crate once. Yeah. Well, all right. So that part isn't too bad. I'm guessing this is all pretty simple, right? Yeah, that's fine. And this is my change to add monsters in. I don't care about that. So navigation obstacle, this is for supply crate itself. Carve navigation mesh, affect navigation mesh, sure. Get the outline. Vertices, outline. What is this for? Isn't this not needed? I don't understand. They set up the entire source geometry of this thing. We didn't need to do that for Skeleseller. How did we do this? Nav region. Literally just called bake on it. There's some way that you make it consider certain things though. Navigation region 2D. I need to go look at that. I think town.tsn might have some more about it. Navigation region 2D. It's given a polygon. What is this polygon? It's a bunch of vertices here. Oh, right. Source geometry group name. I remember this now. I think that's better. Yeah, man, it's been a long time since I've used this stuff. All right, what else do we have in here? Are my shortcuts working? Oh, I see. Nothing else there. Except for something deleted from here. What is this? Get global bounds? Yeah. I don't need any more. Supply crate itself shouldn't have changed very much. Yeah, it didn't. Then the floor layer stuff is deleted. Treasure room just got to add supply crate. That's fine. And then this is a brand new file. So I do think this is more complicated than what we did for Skeleseller, but it also does it in a different way. I don't know if it's a better or smarter way in some way, but I want to read through some of this. Bake done callback. It's a weird way of doing things. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. They do this differently from how I did it. Is bake queued equals false? Doesn't have a region. If it's already baking, needs to be baked after current bake. How did it? Hold on a second. Did it somehow pull this from over here? No, it didn't. I think it just knew how to do this on its own. Get floor traversable outline. Yeah, I think we could potentially simplify this. Either I'm going to ask something here. What do we have in terms of usage? Yeah, sure, fine. Okay, so monsters don't avoid tile map layer obstacles like walls drawn. Well, at least not on the floor itself. Never mentions walls. And I don't think I ever told us to do this, so I don't think it would have just known on its own. Yeah, let's just, I kind of want to see if I have it planned this, what it'll say. Also, the implication is that they should, so hopefully it picks up on that. It's nice though. I think they're working pretty well when it comes to the crates, and that on its own is already good. But we will probably have something like this where there's just some obstacle in the middle of the room, and if the monsters don't try to move around it, then it'll be too easy to get them stuck, which is not a deal breaker for this game. So this can't fit apparently, but it's still trying to. I mean, if we shoot that out, then it can fit. Can it fit here? No. If I break this one, though, it can. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is mostly fine. It does get a little bit stuck here and there, but it's not too bad. Here, it's probably actually stuck on the right side, like the door. There's nothing even, well, there are obstacles in here. Oh, none of this is even working. Wow. What happened? They're not even detecting me? Oh, now they did. Oh, so there's a rebake that needs to be called here that isn't being called. Until then, they won't try chasing you at all. So they should all path around this crate, more or less. Yeah. So that won't work in any of these rooms? Yeah. This trivializes the game. And as soon as you shoot a crate, they all start gunning for you. It's kind of funny, actually. And then, yeah, same thing over here. Now these characters will never move toward you because there's no crate to destroy to cause it to rebake a navigation mesh. So you could just stand here and win pretty quickly. Wow. See, this is where sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I just, this is overly ambitious. Yeah. So monsters don't avoid walls. Entering a new room causes all monsters to I don't know, remain stationary until you shoot a crate. Fix navigation by adding static tile map layer obstacle geometry to the room owned nav mesh bake. Current baker creates one floor traversable outline and subtracts crates only. Walls still has physics collision but no nav mesh obstruction geometry. I just don't think this is the smartest way to do this. I think the way that it was done in Skelecellar was the best. Because we didn't need to do anything special for any of that. It just seems like the easiest possible way. Let me go take a look. Because maybe I'm forgetting something. So we go into the town for Skeleseller, which I think is actually, yeah, it's a navigation region 2D. This has a navigation polygon, collision mask, static colliders. I think it's this. It is this. I don't know why I carved out some random square there. And then, yeah, navigation polygon source group. So if we look at an item display, for example, that should be inside this group. Yeah, well, no, it's not there. Where does that get added? Navigation polygon source group. There are several things that are in this. The tile map layer is inside of it. Interesting. Tim, thanks for the raid. Howdy, everybody. Let me give Tim a big old shout out. Hope things are going well. It's funny when I rated you the other day and you were like, oh, you weren't productive and you're rating me now. I think it was only like a streak of maybe 2 times where you rated me and I went and checked out the VOD and said like, think this wasn't a good day. Time to rate Adam. But yeah, I hope today was a good day. I have been pretty productive today. We've gotten through a lot of different things. We've been working on, let's see. Some of this is broken right now, but I've been working on this top-down shooter sub-game and stuck in a broken tutorial. And we now have, if I grab myself a bunch of upgrades, we now have a running animation. And we have a death animation. Actually, the death will take a long time, so let me just kill the player. Oh, now you can't see it. Okay, here. They fall over, they drop their gun. I know the game over screen fades in, so you can't really see it. We got this text here that says something that's not even possible right now. I got to add that in at some point. What else did we do? We added all the like proper monster graphics. I did not add in a bunch of different monster types in these rooms though. So it's not until you get to the boss room that you can see them in action. So the boss is there and it summons summoners, which summon these summons. So there are 2 levels of summoning going on. They're not moving due to a bug right now. But yeah, in order for you to actually beat the boss, you've got to work through its hordes of minions. In doing so, you'll get these upgrades. So you'll actually get a lot more powerful just trying to get to the boss. Yeah, so I'm getting like defense, attack. I mean, at this point, I can just start killing the boss. But it's got a lot of life. So yeah, you are expected to have to like mow down some of these summons and get enough power. And if you do die, every time you die, you get more and more power-ups in the first like intro room here. So you can just go collect all of these now. And now the next time you make it to the boss room, you also have these crates on the side. Oh, and ooh, did that break? Oh, that like super broke. Hold on a second. What happened there? I think I went like out of the room and then back into the room and then out again. Oh yeah, that's super broken. Okay, we got to stop that from happening. That's a bug I'd never tried before. Bug. You can walk out of a room, then back in, then out again, all before it transitions, and it'll crash. Well, it doesn't crash, it throws an exception. Amazing day for finding improvements on my engine and some of the busted inconsistencies in the renderer. Might be adopting a cat soon too. Nice. Yeah, I am 100% pro cat. Abby has been a little bundle of joy. I have... Every time I look at the pictures I want to share, they're always like not quite shareable. Hang on, let me see. I'll share one of these. I gotta find a not blurry one. Okay, yeah. So we have this stool that for whatever reason Abby loves playing inside of. So like she stands inside of the stool and then we just like dangle the toy around her. But she works her way herself into these like very funny positions. Yeah, I have this picture too. Look at that. Look at her little legs. Anyway, I hope you do adopt a cat, and I hope you love that cat. We love our cat. All right, I think this is terrible. I don't want to do this. I want to switch to what Skeleseller did. So I kind of want to scrap all of this and just have it start over from the beginning. Yeah. I think I want to have it start over. Yeah, I don't think we need to do this like registration of supply crates. Yeah, I'm just gonna scrap everything. I just don't want to scrap starter room because this didn't actually need any changes to navigation mesh, and I just don't want to have to put all this stuff in again. So let's delete everything else. That, and weird, I can't select that other one. Roll back. Now I can. What does that button do? Show diff. Oh, interesting. And then just delete these. Yeah. Oh well. That's scary. Well, not the entire thing. Hey, Busheros. I just wanted to scrap the nav mesh changes that we made. I'm still kind of torn about a lot of this. In fact, actually, you know what? Let's try something really fast. In the top-down shooter, we have the player here. If I go add in a room, so let's say we put in the boss room. That's boss monster. I want boss room. All right, so there's a boss room. We got some tiles. Now, what if make editable? Oh, I don't even have any other part of the tile map. I have this. Yeah, so if we add in a chair, let's say. There are chairs here. I see tables. I don't know if they're even chair. Oh yeah, they're there. All right, so if I put one of these in, how tall is this compared to the player? That's not weird, right? I don't think that's weird. It's like normal game logic. The character is the same size as a chair. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're triple the size or something. That's probably fine. Anything else that looks weird? Like if I put something else that you'd kind of have a sense of scale next to, yeah, like a bookcase looks fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's an issue here. I think it's just the nav mesh. I was a bit concerned at first that we'd have like the wrong sizes for everything. But no, everything looks pretty good. Anything else that you might see and think that's a weird size? I don't think so. Yeah, I think everything's pretty good. Okay. Well, let's get rid of that. So yeah, I'll do this probably post stream. I think we've done pretty well today though. Yeah. So tomorrow, what I really should do is work on music. I had an idea as I was walking yesterday or 2 days ago, just like a bass line. I don't know if it's enough to start making music, but yeah, tomorrow might be a music day. And then Friday, what did I have written down? I wanted to work on colorization of sprites. I have a, let me see if I can show this. I have a graphic showing what I'm talking about here. I guess I just made an entire video about it. I just loaded the video. I'll just mute this. All right, so here's the example. So here's the platformer character, and in this video, I'm talking about what I mocked up here, but it's basically what you see on the left side. So you can change the color of the character, various parts of it. So here we're changing the boot color, and then the shirt color, and then the hair color. So I want a way of letting the player customize this. And it'll probably just be at the beginning of the game that you pick your colors once. And that's fine. I don't that part's not the problem. The problem is this. In order for artists or us to allow this to work, we need to identify each part of each graphic. So like where is the shirt color? Where is the boot color? And in a character, it's going to be more obvious what is shirt and what is boot and what is hair. But let's say your character is like a fighter jet or a tank or something. We still need to be able to color those things. And I'm just concerned it's going to be either tedious or unclear. So anyway, I showed off an example where like I drew in some dark red pixels here, and then that changes how it pulls from the hair color. So yeah, here you can see there's like a solid hair color except for where I drew those dark red pixels. And this was just to show off the effect. Well, it doesn't look too bad actually. But yeah, I like this idea quite a lot. I'd like to have this in the game. I think it'd be cool for customizing. So I just need to come up with what's the best workflow for this. I think that'll be Friday. And then, yeah, if we can make enough progress on this stuff, I'd like to move beyond the top-down shooter probably next week. I don't know when exactly, but the next game on the agenda is what I'm just, the code name is just loot boxes. It's not quite a game. You open loot boxes nonstop and you can move on at any point. And it's kind of just a commentary of like, how long will people open loot boxes if they don't need the loot? Like in every game you've opened a loot box for, that loot is either cosmetic or functional and it's for the game, but like there's some purpose to it, right? Or sometimes maybe you need some other item to open the loot that you got, like a key for a chest. But there's some purpose. This game, there's going to be literally no purpose. You will not get a higher score. You will not get more. There won't be an achievement. There's no reason to open them. But because of how the game would have set you up so far, like people are going to open a few and be like, all right, yeah, what is there to this? And I thought of an idea this morning, which I want to write down if I don't already have it here. Sub game, loot boxes. So we should probably make it seem like you should only get one loot box and you just happen to get lucky enough to be able to open more. And then you just kept getting lucky. Otherwise, players may catch on that this is infinite and that you can't really run out of loot boxes to open. I love this game idea. Not just the loot boxes thing, but just Stuck in a Broken Tutorial in general. Also, yeah, there's still a lot I wanted to do here. But I think I should get going. I think I've streamed for about 6 hours today. Yeah, almost exactly. And I think that's pretty good. I think we've probably hit the effective limit of productivity here. So we shall find someone to raid. Hey, Airs is doing software and game dev instead of playing Arc Raiders. Let's go raid her. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. So like I said, tomorrow will probably be music. I don't know if that'll be a good day. We'll see. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.